All right, so this is going to come out after New Year's, but it's almost New Year's for me, and I thought it would be fun to show you this vocal effect that I did in this mix. So this is a mix in progress, so, grain of salt, whatever. I wanted to just play it for you. The thing that I want to talk about today is what I did on the female vocals here. So it's these 2 tracks, and that's it. So I'm going to play like a little ahead of time and play it through for you, and then we'll talk about the effect that I added. So all this stuff is for the effect. So it's right around here that you'll hear it. And if you listen to the female vocals, there's kind of like a lower affected version, and that's what I wanted to show you. So I'm going to just hit play. Actually, I'm going to do period 8 period. So it starts right at the beginning of bridge B here, and then I'll hit play, and then we'll talk about it.
And if it gets a little sloppy, that's okay too.
So that's basically it. Again, this is a work in progress. We've been doing a lot of production stuff on it, back and forth between mixing and production. So work in progress. It's for an artist that's coming out soon. So I will probably say something when it comes out, I'm sure. So keep an eye out for that. But what I've done here is I have the female vocals. I have basically, let me click on this and then go to the mix window. I just did Command equals to switch that mix window. So you can see here, these are all aux tracks. So all these black tracks are, well, not all of them. This one's an audio track, but these are all aux tracks. Actually, this is kind of funny because this was a sample that I pulled out of a Zoom session that I had with Matt Weiss. So hi, Matt, what's up? Thanks for letting us use you saying if it gets a little sloppy, that's okay too. That's one of my favorite parts of it now because it's just kind of, it was fun and silly, and we had a lot of fun with it in the studio so far. But these 3 aux tracks, and then these are the female vocals. So I believe these are the 2 that I'm working with here. So yes, these are the only 2 that have audio on them. So I have the main aux track here, the lead vocals aux track, and all I'm doing is just EQing, just a little bit of EQ, and then compressing that. So that's basically like what I would consider the dry signal. And then this one, it says pitched up with silica beads. So that would be pitched up here. So I have EQ, and then I have a pitch shift on it, and I've pitched this up by 12 semitones. I believe this is semitones in this plugin. So this is a kilohertz, I believe. They're the ones that make it. I'll just say, yeah, kilohertz. So that's how it's spelled if you're curious. This plugin, I believe, is free. So maybe I'll link to it in the description for you all. Just remind me in case I forget. And then here I have, it's just a reverb. It's from the Verb Suite Classics plugin by Slate Digital. I really like this plugin. It's mimicking a lot of a lot of the old digital hardware reverbs. And the silica bead setting is what I used here. So it's just right here. So it's just in the top option here if you're curious. That's how I access it. And then I've changed it a little. So this is a preset. I've modified a lot of these parameters, some more than others. And then I've automated the dry wet signal. So that's how you can see that this green dot here, this is automated right now. So let's look at that. So let me see. So I have that pitched up. And then this one, I believe, is the pitch down one. So yeah, down by 12 semitones. And again, I have it EQ'd, and then I have the same, bass parameter. I don't know if that's what you call it. The same setting that I started with for the Verb Suite Classics, the same preset. And then I have modified it, and then I have automated both the gain and the dry wet here. So all I'm doing is taking pitched versions and then changing the balance and changing the dry wet amount, and just making it sound kind of fun. So I'm going to do Command equals and switch back here. So you can see here, I have the lead vocals. I have them automated down in volume, and then they come up for this peak moment here. And this is for the 3rd chorus, or that's what I'm calling it, at least according to my markers. And let's see, so I have the pitched up version. It's kind of for volume wise, it's kind of maintaining and then doing a little something towards the end. Same thing, let's see. So the pitched down version, this is the volume automation. So this is starting low and then going up. So this is the thing that's really getting boosted at the end there that you hear, which makes sense. You hear the low end coming up at the end there. Dry wet's pretty steady on the high pitched version, but then on the low pitched version, I basically did a reverb throw. So I'm cranking up that dry wet amount so you get more wet, which is more of that reverb signal and less of the dry version, right? Less of the unreverbed signal. That's not the technical term. Maybe it's the technical term. Anyway, so I've done that, and then I've cranked up the gain as well using the Verb Suite Classics gain parameter. So that's actually cranking it in here, which, you know, isn't super different from the volume, but it you know, I did it that way for whatever reason. So I'm cranking it here. So I'm taking the low end version, I'm basically cranking it in a few different ways at the end of that phrase. And then the high pitched version's kind of doing its little warble thing. And the standard version is still there. So you still hear it. It's not dropping out completely. So with that said, let me open these up. So you saw the pitch shift. That's not really moving. Yeah. I'll open up the, so I'm going to hold shift and click on these Verb Suite Classics plugins. And that allows me to open two at once, right? So I have, actually, let me keep track of which one's which here. So when you hold shift, I know I've talked about this in another video, but if you hold shift and click on a plugin, it opens it up without this red rectangle highlighted, and that makes it so that you can open up another plugin on top of it. So I hold shift, I click on it, opens it up. So this one on the left is going to be the high pitched version, and this one on the right is going to be the low pitched version. And if I play, I'm going to go period 9 period to jump to the beginning of that chorus there. And as I play it, you'll see these parameters. I'm like putting up my screen like you can see. You'll see these parameters moving as you hear the effect going in. So I'm just going to hit play. So it almost adds like a growl to it that I really love. So that's what it is. I thought I'd share that. There's obviously a million different things you could do here with this piece of music, but this is what I chose to do so far. And I had a lot of fun with this one, this effect that I added. So I thought I would share it. And, you know, I do various versions of this in a range of different musical styles for people sometimes. So it's a lot of fun to play with pitch shifting vocals and then you know, moving them around, adding reverb throws to them, stuff like that. Creating a parallel version of a vocal that is pitch shifted and then bringing it in and out for effect can be a lot of fun. So if you haven't tried that and you want to try it, here's your sign. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I don't know if this is the best thing to do, but I had a lot of fun with it. And this is still a work in progress, so I have to mix everything back in together. So I'll be doing that in the future. But I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'd appreciate all of that stuff. And I do have a Patreon, so it's patreon.com/CatoNoise. My patrons get access to additional content, which is mostly our Discord server lately. We have a book club on there. We've been meeting in the voice channel to talk about audio and our audio engineering or music books. I kind of choked on audio engineering there. But anyway, they also get early release videos. So if that sounds cool to you, then please check that out. It helps support my channel. I really appreciate the support and the help. It helps keep things going here. But other than that, I come out with new videos every Wednesday. And thanks so much for hanging out. Okay. So I know in my last video, I was talking about the Pro Tools update. And I kind of looked into it to see what else was in there. It looks like it's mostly the M1 compatibility. Sounds like they're doing like a public beta test for it. And then there was some more coding stuff that they updated with it with this new update. So yeah, I don't know. It's been good. I have had Pro Tools freeze a couple times. This is day 2 since the update. So who knows if it's going to keep happening. It has been freezing when I've been using something that's not technically compatible with it, though. It's when I've been using the Splice Bridge plugin within a VST wrapper. I have a video about using VST plugins in Pro Tools if you want to check that out. That's what I'm talking about here. So I'll put a card for that up on the screen. But yeah, it's basically when I try to open up the Splice Bridge plugin within that VST wrapper, and that used to work. It was kind of sometimes it didn't behave exactly how you wanted it to behave, but it did work before in my old system. So that's basically the only new thing with this system update, both my computer and the new Pro Tools version that I've noticed. So, if you really heavily rely on the Splice Bridge plugin and using it within a VST wrapper, just keep that in mind. I can't even get it to open a track with the plugin on it without Pro Tools freezing. So it's basically a no-fly zone for me right now, which isn't too bad. I can kind of picture things in my head when I'm playing stuff in the actual Splice app. But the Bridge plugin did make it helpful for actually playing it within the context of your session, which can make it much easier to picture, mentally picture what it's going to sound like when you combine the sound you're auditioning in Splice with your session. So it's a little bit of a bummer, but that's pretty much the only thing I've noticed is the freezing for that. So, and I think every time it's frozen has been for that. So that's my update. Okay. Bye.